Hi everyone, I'm Michelangelo. Welcome to my Blue Magic Garden. We did it. It's daytime. We're actually in the garden. This is episode 249. It's a it's a new doc, at least a half doc. And what I'm reading I wrote on March 1st, 2021, whereas today it is January 29, 2022, which means we have less than 1 year now. We're at 11 months, so even more, less than 11 months of a gap. So we're lowering the gap. That's why I'm emphasizing the dates so that you can align energetically of what we're doing. We're lowering this gap of of coming closer. It was at one point the farthest distance was we were 1 year from when I was reading, like the now, to what I was reading, and now we're officially less than 1 month. This is the mysterious, like mysterious because it's I didn't know it. Most people I know don't know it, and you almost didn't know it because it just stopped. The video stopped last time, so now it will be featured, and we're gonna search for one more fruit again. Blueberry jam fruit, blueberry jam tree. So I will call it actually the opposite. So the what people call it is blackberry jam, but I think it's more like blueberry jam. So of course, what am I gonna call it? This is a blueberry jam tree. Okay, so and we have, can you see it? No, barely. Look. No. Next door. We have another really interesting tree that you're going to discover. We're going to see if you know what it is. For now, episode 249. So on Monday, March 1st, 2021, I wrote, "Thank you for tonight's magical turn of events. What a beautiful synchronicity. Wow, I really feel like phase 2 in Costa Rica has now begun. And as you said, I was pleasantly surprised. I am overjoyed. Thank you. I also feel like I needed this boost of confidence, this validation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel even more amazing than before, and I was already feeling amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you." So that's after I got super tested, thinking that I had to leave, that I was, that my visa, as I was here, only a couple of weeks, and then panicking that my visa is going to expire. And so there really was this kind of like magical turn of events, and it being revealed why it didn't just happen. So that's some guidance as I'm being tested right now in this limbo period, that we have the power to turn stuff around, and ultimately by confronting our fears and by being strong. So the answer I got is pretty delineated, so we're gonna divide it up into two videos. So you are welcome, you are welcome, you are welcome, but it really was all you're doing. I am at your mercy. While you were waiting in line today at the bank to pay your immigration fee, you were strong. You had the thought that you could not imagine being negative about someone sharing something that truly excites them. But this is what your mom does all the time. And so you nudged a little closer into understanding and accepting that she is emotionally ill. You never really accepted this, just as she hasn't. The difference is that you know it consciously, whereas she consciously suppresses it. But neither of you have really accepted it. She knows deep inside, but she repressed it, and the repression warps and distorts into a dysfunction. Just as the word indicates, it deviates from a behavior that is not functional, or rather, into a behavior that is not functional. If you share genuine joy with someone who genuinely cares for you, as your mother does, the functional response would be to rejoice together. But when there is an imbalance, the response is often even the opposite of what is natural and functional. In her case, she really believes that there is something wrong and that it is her duty to save you. So there is a double dysfunction. First, at the level of hyper panic response, because she never dealt with her childhood trauma, her flight or fight response is hypersensitive, and so she is constantly in a state of urgent fighting or flighting. If you would be functional to it if it would be functional to be triggered when a situation hits crisis level number 8 or 9, her response is triggered at a 2 or a 3. It is her interpretation that is warped, and so for her, it really is worth panicking. But the second dysfunction is her identification with her offspring. Identification with the false self would already be the cause of much suffering. But her hyper identification with her false self extends to her offspring. She literally believes that her children are an extension of her being, and so she has, and that because of this, she has the right to judge and dictate what she feels is right for them. If she thinks you are in danger, even if you think you are not, it now becomes her right and even duty to divert your course of action. And so here is where it becomes complicated for humans to understand. There is a universal truth that states that we are all one. And so, in this case, why is it dysfunctional for her to believe that you are an extension of her? That is where it becomes tricky for most to understand. It is because while on earth you are both completely individuated beings while simultaneously also being oneness with a capital O. Each individual human is expanding towards remembering that they are the whole. This is where the mind... oh my lord, I dropped the phone because this tripod is a little bit kooky, remember? Because we have like a kooky tripod. So I think we're upside down. We're gonna put you back on here because what do I do when a tripod, when the phone falls? I keep going. This is where the mind cannot really go. The mind will not be able to understand this completely. You are one and one at the same time. So here it's written one with a small o and one with a big O. So small one and big one at the same time. And in order to be so, it has to be relational. In each individual that is it is each individual that is the one with a capital O. So big one. And each individual is on their personal journey of remembering this. Oh my lordy, oh my lordy, oh my lordy. What are we gonna do? Have we understood yet? What are we gonna do until I get a new tripod? We're gonna keep going. I don't know how this is falling because it seems securely on there. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. So remember, this is the same test that we fall, and what do? We get back up. We're here. I'm already sitting, so I have nothing to complain about. I was gonna stand, but this tripod, this is the highest it goes, so I'm sitting. In fact, this is the reason, and each individual is on their personal journey of remembering this and expanding towards the truth of their oneness with all. So oneness, capital O, all, capital A. In fact, this is the reason why each individual incarnated, and this is the way for each individual to experience the love, capital L, that results from each increment of remembering that they are one, capital O. And so when you try to counter someone else's will and try to change them, you are diverting from your personal journey of remembering that you are all one, capital O. If you would really be focusing on remembering this, you would not isolate one individual more than another. When doing so, it means that you essentially believe you are separate from them and that they need to be saved through an intervention that is outside of them. You incorrectly believe that you need to intervene with their